Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at all of the mounts you can obtain from the anniversary event and a recap of how you can get every single one of them, as I realize a lot of players are looking exactly for everything that they can do. So there are quite a few mounts I think that players need to separate into two categories. There are the very easy to obtain mounts in the sense that they are guaranteed. Either they are guaranteed drops or they're guaranteed to fall from achievements, and there are mounts that are RNG. We'll take a look at the guaranteed ones first, and then take a look at the RNG based ones. The first one we're going to look at is the Reigns of the Coldflame Tempest mount. This mount is probably one of the major attractions of the event. It's also one of the easier ones to get. You can see it here. It's a pretty cool mount. This can be achieved by just completing certain achievements relating to the world events. I do mention it in my video summarizing the entire anniversary. These events are very simple though. They simply require you to basically do the bare minimum at each of the major events, ride a couple balloons, and kill a couple of the world bosses. Honestly, it's not that hard. You don't have to participate in the raid. You do not have to participate in the PvP. The achievements you need are I have that one, which is to literally use one mount in Mount Mania. Fashion Critic, which is to cast your vote 5 times in the fashion event. Pet Mischief, which requires you to use the pet mirror, which you can obtain in the pet corner. You can see my video for more detail. Balloonist, which requires you to ride a single balloon. Peanut Gatherer, which requires you to react 50 times at the Storytime event. An Original, which requires you to kill one of the global bosses. You can see here, Azurgos, for example, or Lord Kazak. And then, of course, as well, on top of that, we have Gatecrasher. This requires you to defeat one of the bosses in Tanaris. And then, on top of that, we have Codex Editor, which requires you to do the Chromitime scenario, which you can easily access from the Dungeon Finder screen. Once you've completed all of those, the mount will be given to you, so it's pretty straightforward. 2 previous anniversary mounts can be obtained from Storekeeper Reginald. These can be obtained for 20 bronze celebration tokens each. They do not show up here for me, and that is because basically I have them already, so they will not show up here if you have them in your mount log. But the 2 mounts that are available here are the Core Hound Chain mount, so this mount here, pretty cool. And then the Obsidian Worldbreaker mount. Both of them cost the exact same amount, 20 celebration tokens, and you don't have to do anything else. They are correlating with previous anniversaries, so they're pretty straightforward and easy to get. Just come to Storekeeper Reginald. That's this NPC. You can find him in the central hub, and he sells a couple other pets as well. There are 2 PvP mounts that players can obtain. To obtain these mounts, you don't have to do anything specifically, as in a quest or anything, but you do have to enter the PvP battleground, Korok's Revenge, which is basically a revamped version of the original Alterac Valley. It can be accessed through PvP through the quick match selection. You can find it here at the bottom. Now all you have to do is simply complete 1 round of Korok's Revenge. It sounds very, very, very simple, but it is honestly basically a test of persistence. You can sometimes be in this battleground for like an hour, depending on your groups, so it isn't really super duper easy. Obviously, the 2 mounts that you will obtain will come to you regardless of whether you win or lose your match. You simply have to get to the end. The mounts that you can get are the Stormpike Battle Ram, which is pretty cool. You can see here it comes from the achievement Alterac Valley of Old, and also the Frostwolf Snarler, which is obviously the Horde version. It's super duper important, basically, that, to cut a long story short, I think most players, well, you won't be able to see it on this one because it's an alliance character, understand you get both mounts when you complete the achievement. So you don't have to do it on each faction, you will get both once you complete the achievement, which is pretty cool. In Tanaris there are 3 world bosses. these world bosses are Shower of Anger, Archivon the Stone Watcher, and the Doomhawk. All three of them have a chance to drop a gear and count towards the Gatecrashers achievement, but they also have the ability to drop mounts. Now, there are 3 mounts that can drop from these world bosses. The first mount is the Illidari Doomhawk. This mount is a guaranteed drop from the Doomwalker. It will drop when you face him and defeat him, which is great. The next one that has a chance to drop is the Reigns of the Grand Black War Mammoth. This can drop from Archivon the Stone Watcher. You can see him here. Obviously, this is not a guaranteed drop, but you have a chance to farm it every single day, so it's not impossible to get. Obviously, you can see it here, so it's pretty cool. It is one of a older mount, but it is still really cool. And then finally, we have the Heavenly Onyx Serpent. A lot of players may have this now, comparative to back in the day, due to the Mr. Pandaria remix event, but to be honest with you, it is still a really cool mount. This one can drop from the Shower of Anger. Because these bosses are up every day, it gives you quite a lot of chance to farm them. Each attempt with an ult as well also still has a daily attempt. So obviously, although the drop rates are low on some of them, it is a really good chance to get them, especially since they spawn so quickly and you can farm them pretty much every single day. So I highly suggest you give it a go to grab them. The last mount that is available is not one that you need to worry about too much, which is why I left it for last. It is a new time walking mount that you can obtain from Bobadormu. It is the classic variation time walking mount. You can see the reins of the Frayfeather Hippogryph, and it's a pretty cool homage to obviously classic. You can see it looks really similar to classic, but there is some nice finer details that it has. This one will cost you time walking medals, and honestly, this one you can get at a later date. So you don't need to worry too much about this one, as it's a time walking event that will be cycling throughout the year and throughout the remainder of Warcraft. So you don't need to panic too much, but it is still a mount that you can collect that's been added in during the celebration. So that is that. That is every single mount that you can get during the course of the WoW 20th anniversary. It's quite a cool list of mounts, and a lot of them are very easily accessible. I highly suggest that you start with picking up on the older anniversary ones, and then look at picking up all of the current ones. Wishing you guys all the best of luck, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.